And I've come to realize it's your circle of influence that's most important. You got to build one relationship at a time. So we're going to look at Romans 8:14. We're going to jump over to 8:14 because we're talking about inheritance. And this is a classic chapter. The whole chapter is great, obviously. Romans 8 is one of, if I had like 3 chapters I could walk away with on a desert island, that's all I'd have the rest of my life, Romans 8 would be one of them, along with John 15. And then it gets really tough after that. But those two for sure, because they just so clearly lay out our walk with God and where we're heading. Romans 8 talks a lot about our inheritance and where we're going. You know, you're destined to be looking like Jesus. Be looking good. Be looking like Jesus. That's where we're headed, predestined to be conformed to the image of Him. You're growing up to be like Jesus. So I just want to read a few verses, make some comments, and we'll see where this takes us, okay? I've got the Passion. Let's go with King James just for giggles. Verse 14, for as many as are led by the Spirit of God are what? They are sons of God. If you are led by the Spirit of God, they are sons of God. See, what I want to address here, he's going to talk, well, let me go back to reading this again. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm excited. Hang on with me. So, for you are not, if you have not received the spirit of bondage of fear again, but you've received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. The Spirit of God's in you. There's a natural cry in you that says, Abba, Father. You want to be seen by your Father. He's right there. The Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. And if children, then heirs. Heirs of God and joint heirs with Christ, so that we suffer with Him, that we may also be glorified together. Okay, we're just going to take an overview look at that. There's a lot in there. I'm not going to cover it all, but I just want to touch on how it affects our inheritance. How many of you have have received an inheritance, just for, even a little bit? Cool. Inheritance is a big part of what the former generation passes on to you, whether it's your parents, whether it's a distant relative. Joy's mom left us some money. It's something she had planned for, prepared. My dad ran right to the end of his playing golf. He was a good man. Just didn't leave much behind. My mom left a few thousand. They always taught us, get a house, live on that, saved up. And I'm not bitter about it. I'm just saying, I know the difference of when someone's prepared themselves and some haven't as much. That's been one of my prayers and desires as a father. I want to leave an inheritance to my children's children. That's what the Bible says. That's what Abraham fought for. He wanted to leave an inheritance. That was his whole walk with God when God said, you're going to be the father of many nations. That's your inheritance. Can you imagine that? Nations for your inheritance. But guess what? What's the scripture say about us? Nations, right, Teresa? Nations. It's part of our inheritance. Because it's Jesus' inheritance. And get this, if it's His inheritance, it's also your inheritance. Because you are a co-heir. Remember that phrase we looked at this week, Matt? We heard that? The guy said, we are co-crucified, co-buried, co-resurrected, co-ascended, co-missioned. It's the whole gamut. You're in it with Christ all the way. He's in it with you. So get this, as He is, it says, as Jesus is, so are you. That ought to make you happy. Think about that. Everything that Jesus is, and Jesus is pretty cool, so are you. He was God who came in the flesh to model for us what it would look like. So if Jesus did it, so can you. That's the gospel. That's good news. That's why they call it good news. Everything Jesus gets, you get. So how do we get our inheritance? Well, first of all, why do you get it? John 1:12 says it, as many as received are sons of God. We've already seen you are a child. Just by being born of Him, you are in line for the inheritance. It's available to you. Ephesians tells us we're seated in heavenly places, right? In that place, you receive all the fullness of His blessing. It's available to you. So you're probably thinking, why isn't it happening? All that goodness is there. Where is it today in my life? Well, sometimes you just have to have eyes to see what you already have, right? This is why Thanksgiving is so important, because we are so prone to forget what we already have because we're so focused on what we don't have. I'll say it again. We get so focused on what we don't have, we forget what we do have. And Thanksgiving becomes our foundation. And it becomes a building of faith. Because you know those things you're thanking God for, there's probably a time you didn't have them either. Hello? But now you do. So Thanksgiving is a statement of faith of what I'm going to also get, what's also mine. So the question becomes not so much why. Okay, I know, God, I'm your child. There's an inheritance. The question is now is, when? Well, when's it coming? And there's a process of learning it. There's a process of walking in maturity. This is what Romans 8 is about. It's about walking in maturity so that you can walk in the fullness of what God has. I taught all of my kids to drive because my wife couldn't. You can drive, but let's not go there. It's going to be a long ride home now. Thank you, Joe. Keep it moving, bro. All the men are going, stop, stop. You should know better than this. So I taught them to drive. And I'm kind of proud how I did this. I would get my kids like they're 14 years old and say, let's go to the parking lot. And they'd love that. And there was still a clutch in one car we had. And my oldest daughter was like, got to get her an automatic. But they would just passionate about learning to drive and get their license. But I couldn't give her the keys at 14. She wasn't ready. She wasn't mature enough. Probably wasn't tall enough either. She's short. But she had to be ready to take the key. So what God's doing is maturing you. He's bringing you to fullness. So you can say, I've got all this for you, but I don't want it to bury you. If I give you too much, it will destroy you. Right? So just know, if it's not here yet, it's just you're in process. You are in process of getting all that God has for you. So don't let the loudness of the enemy telling you you're not worthy, you can't have it. It's just, no, I'm just in process. My Father loves me too much to give me all this because it will crush me. Guys, I'm convinced. I'm thankful because I spent the first 20, 30 years of my Christian walk as a minister wanting to be the next mega church pastor. And Matt, I took all the courses, I read all the books, I did everything you're supposed to do and couldn't pull it off. I said, I preach as good as these other guys. I didn't get it. We've got good worship, but why isn't this happening? And as I look back, I realized, Lord, I've been around, I was raised in a mega church. God bless them. It's a lot of work. And it's a lot of headaches and problems. It's like a big business. It sounds great, but man, there's a lot to it. And I'm pretty convinced, I don't mean this in a negative way towards myself, I just think, you know what, I was so into it, I think it would have taken me off course. I really do. And so I'm thankful. I say, Lord, thank you for not giving me what I thought I wanted. You ever had that when you realize, man, I wanted this for so long, you go, oh, God, thank you that I missed that bullet. And that's not against mega churches. Some guys and gals, they've got the goods. God bless them. Seriously. But I'm just grateful because in my economy of understanding, I've learned to understand that Jesus did small really well. You ever heard of the 12? Now, he worked with the crowds too. But he was always thinking about how to mentor and disciple the crowds through the 12. And I've come to realize it's your circle of influence that's most important. It's your family, your closest friends, the people you meet. And when God does the big things, hey, enjoy it. It's fantastic. But we can't build on big. You got to build one relationship at a time. That keeps it real. Does that make sense? Yeah. So God bless all the mega churches, all the big ministries. But even in that, if you can keep it small, and see, that's the thing Jesus did. Even though he had crowds around him, he kept it small in the sense of his circle of influence.